and welcome to Neil the Deal. I understand that we're going to be talking about one of my favorite fighters. What do you got lined up for us, Neil?
Hey, good evening, Graham. How are you? Nice to see you again. You're looking quite awesome today. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you all out there at the Neil the Deal show. I appreciate you guys coming out. I want to say again, all the likes, the shares, all the comments and stuff, been fantastic. I'm really blown away every day. It just gets bigger, bigger, and better. And I want to thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it a lot. And hey, this is going to be a big year for all of us. So let's just work together, like I always say, and we'll get through this. So, Graham, today I think we're going to talk about an international superstar, a guy that I've watched exclusively over the years. Probably one of he's going to be in the top 10, Graham. We're still working on that, the other 5, right? He's definitely in the 5. He could possibly move himself up into the top 10. So sometime in the next month or so, I'm going to revamp the top 10 for you guys. We're going to revamp it all, and we're going to figure out exactly who the top 10 are in my mind. Alrighty? So let's go and talk a little bit about this guy. The guy I want to talk to you, Graham, and everybody out there in Talkin Fightland tonight is a guy from the Philippine Islands. I guess it's an island. Is Philippine an island, Graham?
It's a vast array of islands, many hundreds of islands.
Right. Yeah, okay. So there's a bunch of islands, and I guess this individual is from that region of the world. And his name would be, they call him Pac-Man is his nickname. So it's Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. That's what we're going to talk about today, Graham. I've been watching Manny fight basically since the conception that he started fighting in his amateur career. I didn't see any of his amateur fights, but I've been watching him over the years. He's had multiple trainers, different coaches, always at the top of the game. And he's a very, very interesting individual because he's in his hometown, I guess, in the Philippines. He's actually a senator in the Philippines, which is a pretty big accolade. Graham, from what I've heard from the Filipino community in general, is that Manny Pacquiao is probably more popular than the president. Is that true? Have you heard anything like that?
Yes, I have.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. This guy is I think he's a god in the Philippines or something. Like he's really big, you know what I mean? And he's a senator. He's a humanitarian. I just want to say right off the hop, he gives a lot of money back to the Philippines. He deals with the kids. He deals with the poverty. He deals with the infrastructure. He's literally rebuilding that country himself. So Manny, man, that is over the top, dude. I don't know, man. I got to reconsider this top 10, So he's got to be in the top 5 now that I'm thinking about it. So anyways, let's just talk a little bit about him. All right. His name is Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. He's a senator. His real name is Emmanuel Manny Depitran, I guess. Pacquiao. Depitran. So this is his Filipino name, I guess, part of his name, his middle name. He was born December 17th, 1978, so he's 42 years old, all right? He fought in 8 weight divisions, Graham. 8 weight divisions? 8? That is unheard of. So he fought in the super bantamweight, super featherweight, welterweight, light welterweight, light middleweight, flyweight, and featherweight. So I'm just like, wow. I don't think anybody's done this, but that's unbelievable. He had a great career to date so far. He's had 71 fights. He's got 62 wins, 7 losses, and 2 draws. He's 39 knockouts out of the 71 fights. So I have seen him fight many times. He does have a bit of knockout power. Earlier on in his career, he didn't have knockout power, but then he hired a guy named Freddie Roach, and we talked about Freddie Roach on an earlier episode. And Freddie Roach was able to actually get him to increase his speed and his power. So ever since Freddie took over as his coach manager, so to speak, in the corner, he's done much better with the strength. With his strength is up and that sort of stuff. He was always really very good, fleet-footed, so to speak. He can run around the ring. can throw multiple combinations, going forward, moving backwards, whatever it may be. He always seems to be able to throw punches on weird angles. You know what I mean, Graham? He can be out of position and throw like a haymaker that'll knock you out. So he's got a lot of skill, this Mr. Pacquiao. He started fighting when he was 14 years old in the Philippines, and he made the Philippine national amateur boxing team. Right? He had an amateur career. He had 60 wins and only 4 losses in his amateur career. So he's had a total of 131 fights in his complete career, so to speak. So he's got a lot of experience, and he's definitely a guy that everybody, I believe almost everybody's probably, who's a boxing fan, guys like all of us, has watched a pay-per-view event with him involved at one time or another. Apparently, he's made gross revenues of his pay-per-views are around 1.2 billion. That's $1 billion in pay-per-view gross revenue, and he's just one of those guys, man. And he seems to feel obligated to help people. So I really have a soft spot for him. Just a little bit about his history and stuff, some awards and things you guys can take a look at. Manny, he's the only boxer in the history to win 12 major world titles, Graham. 12 world titles, the only guy ever. He's also the first fighter ever to win the lineal championship in 5 different weight divisions. And this just doesn't happen. This is the first time in the history of boxing. He's done that in 8 weight divisions, and as well as having being the first boxer in history to win titles in 4 of the original 8 weight divisions. All right, so he's the only guy in history to win 4 out of the 8 weight divisions. Are you with me there, guys?
Yeah.
Graham? All right. So anyways, moving on. He actually became the oldest welterweight world champion in the history of boxing at 40 years old in 2019. All right. So he's 40 years old and he wins a title. You know, his oldest guy to win the welterweight title ever in the history of boxing. That's pretty impressive. He also holds the record for being the only 4-decade world champ in history. So he's actually won world titles in 4 decades, the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s. So nobody's ever done that either, Graham. So when you really look at this guy in a nutshell, he's probably he's got 4 or 5 things on his resume that are the only time in history that this has happened. So he's obviously at the top of his game all the time. He's ready. He's prepared. He'll take a fight on a whim, and he's an amazing individual. Now, a little bit of the awards that he's been receiving over the last many years that he's had his career. He was Fighter of the Decade, all right? Fighter of the Decade, Graham, by Boxing Writer Association of America, WBC, WBO, and WHO 3 times. He was Boxer Fighter of the Year, 2006, 8, and 9. Boxer of the Year. He's also been rated the best fighter by the ESPY award. He won the ESPY award 2009, 2011 as a best fighter. And he's listed second on ESPN's top boxers pound for pound in the last 25 years. So second overall best pound for pound boxer in the last 25 years. That is over the top. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is ridiculous. So we're going to try to get him on the show, Graham. Apparently your wife might be able to help us with this. Maybe we'll call her friend there. What's her name? Lorena. She was the minister in Philippines. You know the one.
He's a very difficult man to get hold of these days. I mean, I'm sure once our reach hits the Philippines, I'm sure we'll be able to get in contact with him. We have spoken to people who know his people. Given the level of contacts that I have across the Filipino community, and I've often stated, I'll keep it short and sweet, I think he's one of the best, if not the best pound for pound fighter for the longest time. But anyway,
yeah.
Like I said, I don't know how much time he has for us right now, but it's certainly
yeah. Well, I wouldn't think he probably has no time for us right now. Basically no time, but we might get him a few years maybe. It's one of those long-term dream goal things, right?
Well,
You always got to have goals. Everybody have a goal, stick to your goal, and get her done.
yeah, I mean, given everything that I've done and who um, I know we can reach as people. It's just a question of time, and timing is everything, both in life
Right.
and in boxing. So um, you're right. I mean, he's a great guy. He's a great boxer. He does a lot of things for the community. And what he's doing in the Philippines right now is unheard of. He's really taking the fight to the leaders of that country and making sure that the people are being taken care of. He is a man for
Yeah.
the people.
Yeah, you got to commend a guy like that, Graham. Like that's a huge undertaking, but he's a huge figure, and he's using his heart and his money to better the planet. Is what the way I look at it. So you gotta love him, man. He's a humanitarian. Those kind of guys are so close to my heart, and he gives back to the people, and he's very well respected within the community of boxing, and it'd be a dream of mine to meet him one day. Even if it wasn't on the show, it was just at an event or whatever it may be. It would just be like, I can't believe I'm actually standing beside Manny Pacquiao. Like that would be something else. So thanks a lot, guys. We talked a little bit about him. Check out his fights online. He's got notable fights. I was going to talk about the notable fights, Graham, but I decided not to. We'll let the people go and see for themselves what kind of a fantastic boxer this guy is and continues to be every year, even at his age of 42. So let's just smile and hopefully everybody has a good time checking him out online. All right. So thanks a lot, guys. Have yourselves a good evening. We'll see you tomorrow night. We're having a little earlier meeting tomorrow, are we not, Graham?
Correct. 6:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah. Want to tell the viewers?
So yeah. So we've already scheduled it. It's already been posted on the website. So we're good to go. We're good to go on our side. If you're good to go at 6:30 tomorrow.
All right. So 6:30 tomorrow, guys. We'll see you then. Have yourselves a good evening. Stay safe. Enjoy yourselves. Take care of the kids. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks very much.
Neil the deal. Peace out.
Viewers, like, share, subscribe. Cheers.